I chose the article Connecting the Threads of Area and Perimeter. It's about how a group of sixth grade math students design and create quilt squares for a geometry project. This aligns with my targeted topic of geometry. This teacher was struggling with students always asking, "What's the point of learning this?" and "When will we use it again?" He decided his students needed more meaningful experiences learning about area and perimeter, and they needed to understand the importance of these concepts. So he implemented this quilt squares geometry project. This project will encourage children to adapt to novel situations, apply efficient and effective strategies, and collaborate to solve a problem. By the end of this activity, the students were expected to calculate the area and perimeter of different regular and irregular polygons, justify that summing every shape's area is equal to the area of the quilt square, design a quilt square by using only quadrilaterals and triangles, and create a quilt square that matched their design. These align with geometry standards to solve real-world and mathematical problems involving area, surface area, and volume, and also the standard to draw polygons in the coordinate plane given coordinates for the vertices. This project is split up into 4 different phases. Phase 1 is having students look at examples of real quilts they designed. They discussed the visually pleasing contrasting colors and patterns. They also noticed the quilt squares tended to be symmetrical. Phase 2, and you can see some of the examples they looked at here in figure 1. And then phase 2 is the students start to design their own quilts. The teacher walked around the room to formatively assess student progress. He was specifically looking at their ability to talk about their designs, trying to determine whether they were following the directions of the project and applying the formulas correctly. Phase 3 is the synthesis part of this project. Here they were actually finding the area and perimeter of each shape, as you can see in figure 2. This was the handout that they were given, and here's where they can show their work. Also during this phase, the teacher was checking students' strategies by using the one-on-one review process to determine whether they were using appropriate methods for calculating area and perimeter. And the last phase, phase 4, is that the students start creating their quilt squares with wallpaper. They cut the shapes out of wallpaper, and it said earlier in the article that the wallpaper was donated to the school from a hardware store. And you can see one of the finished quilts here in figure 3. The math tasks that involve creativity while problem solving and that draw on multiple mathematic concepts and procedures can support the idea that doing math involves more than completing exercises. Students' conceptual and procedural understandings were enhanced by this project. It gave students an opportunity to synthesize their knowledge of area and perimeter with an application problem. Creating a new product is the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. And also, since I teach 4th grade, if we were to do this in my classroom, our quilting project would look just a little different. We would be using squares, rectangles, and triangles, for example, instead of the quadrilaterals they were using in this project. But I think that my students would really enjoy this project. It would be a great opportunity for them to adapt novel situations, apply efficient and effective strategies, and collaborate to solve a problem.